Do you know what a charter school is?
No.
A charter school is a school that is publicly funded but privately run. They operate under the conditions of a legally binding contract called a charter, and a school's charter is issued by a governing body or an authorizer, which varies state by state. Authorizers can be local school districts that also oversee traditional public schools, or they can be universities, nonprofit agencies, or government agencies. If the school doesn't meet its charter standards, then it's closed down. Some of the standards include population size, student performance, and attendance.
I went to a charter school and I feel like we just had a really close-knit community, and I developed a really personal connection with my teachers, and they were just always there for me. My twin sister went to a public school. The public school in my area wasn't that good, so I feel like I just got a lot more out of my high school experience than she did.
Well, personally for me, I disagree with everything my sister said, and I'd say that I've learned so many life lessons at Nursery High School compared to her little charter school that didn't really teach her that much in the long run, and she didn't even get into that good of a school. Like, I'm going to a better school than her. So. My brother and sister both went to charter schools, and they constantly make fun of me for going to Nursery High School, but I think it was such a better opportunity for me personally because I got to meet so many people from so many different cultures, and I've gotten a lot of life lessons, and even though the class sizes are bigger, you get a real feel of what the real world is like, instead of where my sister goes and they literally, all the parents do everything for their children because she has no social skills anymore, and I'm so independent and grown up compared to her.
So Maddie, your sister had some interesting things to say about your school, and she said that it was bad. What do you think?
I think he's just wrong. He was arguing that I don't have good social skills, but he does. But I have made such good friends at my school, and I could hang out with them on the weekends and stuff. On the weekends, he's stuck at home studying, teaching herself things because her teachers are too dumb to teach her, because he doesn't have the good teacher relationships like I do.
Because charter schools operate privately, the schools are able to adjust and accommodate the classroom settings or lessons to best meet the students' needs. The main purpose of a charter school is to provide an education that often exceeds the expectations of local public schools by specializing in certain teachings and giving each student a lot of attention.
So Izzy, can you tell me a bit about yourself and what your older sister does for a living?
I go to Nursery High School. My sister went to public school. She also went to the Nursery High School. But she has a teaching job in D.C. as a first grade teacher at a Chinese American charter school.
Wow, that is so interesting. What is your sister's opinion about the charter school?
She thinks it's cool. It's different from her growing up in a public school. But all of the students are required to take Mandarin, also learn all of the basic elementary curriculum. And then also they all have to take a play an instrument and be on a sports team.
Basically, I think that they're more efficient than public schools in terms of allocation for students, and probably there's a higher budget per student at a charter school because it's smaller, so the kids at that school are probably going to get slightly more like rigorous education, but at the same time, you know, you got to talk about the fairness. Like, is it really fair for these kids to get better education than, say, someone at a public school? Even because they're getting public money, it's not like a private school, so there's a lot to think about.
Charter schools have more freedom with their curriculum than public schools do. Charter schools can focus on more project-based learning and offer specialized courses.
Go and play basically play sports.
Yes.
That's a really good opportunity for them, like the IMG Academy and other things like Kelsey, my friend over here, is participating in. And so I think that you should probably maybe too. I like them.
Charter schools, like traditional public schools, are funded by taxpayers with public money. They are a type of public school, so they offer free education and are held to the same non-discrimination standards as traditional public schools.
Can you please state your name for the camera?
Yeah, I'm Bisaria.
Who's your favorite high school teacher?
Mr. Gurney, obviously.
What do you think about charter schools?
I think that in certain situations, they're great. For example, if it's in an impoverished neighborhood or a place where the public schools aren't that great, if a charter school comes in, gives the kids, especially at a young age, the academic challenges they need and can actually benefit them rather than what the public school that's failing them is providing.
Because charter schools are not privately operated and the regulations of the schools are not strict, the money that charter schools receive is not always allocated efficiently. Research suggests that charter schools spend less on instruction and more on administration compared with traditional public schools. In some cases, when nonprofit organizations oversee charters, they use money towards the organization and boost the salaries of employees rather than used for school material and benefits.
Hey y'all, I'm Vincent Francis from the University of South Carolina. My cousin Maddie Bishop goes to a charter school, but I never understood the big hype about it because I went to New Rochelle High School, a public school. Not only is the education better, but the school spirit is just something you'll never find at a charter school. We have things like homecoming, big football games here, and the most exciting thing you find there is the JV mini golf team.
Some charter schools are accused of only selecting the highest performing students in the area to attend their school, even though it's supposedly available to anyone. And some schools don't provide transportation or ESL services, turning away many low-income and minority applicants.
Hi, can you tell us who you are and where you're from?
Hello, my name is Crow. I'm from New Rochelle, New York, and that's what you asked me to say.
How do you feel about charter schools?
I don't believe that charter schools are a good decision, only because I know one of my cousins in California goes to a charter school, and she goes to school 3 days a week, and then is homeschooled the other days. So although not all charter schools may be like this, some of them don't actually function the way they should.
Also, some schools have weak attendance records from having an inconsistent school schedule with many field trips or days spent being homeschooled. And some schools lie about the attendance numbers since they receive money based on how many students are supposedly enrolled. Many charter schools must resort to a lottery system to determine who gets in due to their inability to meet the demand. Charter schools are also criticized for not working with disabled students, since many of the schools just want to look good by having good test scores, so they may not want to put in the extra work teaching a student that is perceived to have less potential. Charter schools take funding away from public schools, and since they take high-achieving students out of the public schools, the reputation of the public schools suffer due to declining test scores.
I'm a senior here at New Rochelle High School.
What do you think about your school?
I really like it. The reason I picked it over a charter school is because they had more resources for what I wanted to do. They have more public funding, so they end up having more money for things like the arts and stuff I'm interested in.
So what are these extracurriculars that you're involved in, and what can you get out of the high school?
So here at the high school we have the PAVE program, which is the main reason I came. It's performing and visual arts education, so I'm a theater major, I guess, in that, and then that program is the reason I decided to go for a BFA major in theater in college.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You got this. Well said. Come on, Pete.